Following is a production of Locked Up Sports.
Everybody, this is Don LaGreca from the Michael K. Show. When it comes to talking sports, Bob Walters and Brett Grasso are the authority.
Can't wait.
When it comes to talking sports, they're the authority. It's Bob Walters and Brett Grasso. It's Locked Up Sports, and it starts now.
Bring them out, hey. Bring them out, yeah. Bring them out, hey. Bring them out.
Here we go. Bob Walters, Brett Grasso from the Brian Gunzel Studio. This is Locked Up Sports. The Mets go for 6 in a row today against Colorado. 2 straight sweeps into the AllStar break. The Yankees, after all, as bad as they've been, try to move back into first place with a sweep of Baltimore. It's the last day before the AllStar break. Brett, what is up? Welcome to the show.
What is going on, man? Yeah, I can't believe we actually made it to the halfway point, or what is really a little bit past the halfway point of the
it's like 95 games.
Major League Baseball season, and the Mets somehow have clawed their way right back into this. The Yankees have somehow pulled themselves back into a race.
Yeah, but see, the Yankees were so good
for
a long time.
No, right. But they felt, but it's kind of like the tale of two seasons, where one team that started out as hot as you could possibly be, one team who started out as, cold as you could possibly be, and to see them both come in where the Yankees, statistically have, definitely have a better time, but the Mets seem to somehow be the hotter team right now.
It's so weird because it's so refreshing to how good the Mets are playing, and I'm so into it. But when you realize the Mets, doesn't it feel like the Mets have been playing great for now it's like over a month and a half, almost 2 months, right? And the Yankees have been terrible for a long time. Yankees are still like 17, 18 games over 500.
Oh,
the Mets are 4.
No, they are.
But we're moving. 4. We thought it was 3.
No, and we talked about this. I think the Yankees are going to be just fine. I think this is a slump for them. It's a good time to have that slump. But I just think that I just think that the Mets have really found something, and I think the amount of time that they've been good now proves to you that this is more who they are and not a fad. This isn't just an illusion of what happens sometimes when you have a couple good weeks or your matchups are there or, you happen to get things to break your way. They tend to be, I think they're a decent ball club. And I don't mean great.
But are they 500? But are they 500? Because they were bad for longer than they were good, right?
No, because they were so far below 500 that it's incredible how that they're going to be, 5 games over 500 if they win this game today.
Yeah,
going into the All-Star break.
And listen, the bullpen. I said the bullpen has bad losses in it left. Right? They're gonna blow games if we gotta get trustworthy arms in there.
But I think that's what. Now it's going to be up to the manager, and Carlos Mendoza has seen what and who is capable of what, and now that. Is he smart enough to stay away from those guys who have proven over and over and over that they are going to give up walks? They are going to give up hits. They are going to not be able to get it in the strike zone at a point where you just have to throw a strike. It's tough, man, to watch the same guys fail. And we've had some guys step up.
Ottavino comes in with a touchdown lead, and he can't save it. 7-5 before you know it.
It's hard because you're like, but we know he's been so good in the past. He's been so good in the past.
He's not.
I know, but he
was all right in the beginning of the season.
Right, but now all of a sudden you go, no, you are who you are. And you have to look right in front of your face and be like, listen, the Mets are who they are. They're a pretty decent ball club right now. They've done it for a while. The bullpen guys, look at some of these guys and be like, if you're not that good, like let's try and go in a different direction. There's other arms. Like that's the biggest problem in the Mets system right now, and in their depth is their depth at pitching in the minor leagues and anywhere else. They have no one to call. There is no guy who is pitching well enough in the minors where they think they could get him to be even major league ready. No,
Scott,
I'm talking,
they brought up,
but even bullpen wise,
like they don't really have bullpen. The bullpen guys in the minors are not really bullpen. They're starters, right? They're starters.
To a point, there's some guys who are. No, there's some guys.
There's some guys who are specialists.
I know it is. So but they have nobody like. So listen, everybody's going to be looking for these guys around the deadline. There's already teams making moves. The Mets have already made a few moves, and their one move has actually paid off for them so far.
The other day, but I think listen, like it says here, I think you got Budo, Nunez, and Diaz. Right? Nunez has been good. He's the 8th inning guy. We got the 8th and 9th inning set up. We can't get to the 8th and 9th inning because they keep bringing in Ottavino, or Diekman, or whatever, and they're terrible. They are terrible. Like you can't get anything. They can't get outs. They're blowing leads. They're just not good. And what I think you could do is you could trade McNeil. I think that's why they're playing McNeil, because McNeil, they're hoping to get him going a little bit, so he gets some hits. Then you could trade him, and I think you could trade Beatty down in the minors, get him out of here. I know he's supposed to be a big prospect, but he hasn't been good. It's not 2 years, right?
Yeah,
he's not brand new.
If the deal's right, now what does that even mean? Like, it's tough because
when you
start trading away guys that you really had for a bullpen arm that's around for how long?
No, you're right.
Like, it all depends on how long. You're talking about a bullpen arm.
Yeah, but do they believe in Beatty, or is Vientos now the third?
No, it's not that. It's what's the big picture? You're thinking of the old Mets of, okay, let's do this right now, and what does that mean for the next guy that we were really looking at? The Mets have plans. You have to realize the Mets have plans. And those plans might be already like, we are going to try and package these guys together to this team in the offseason to try and make some type of move. Well, I think this year, as we already know, is more of an evaluation year.
You can see with Scott. They pulled Scott after 7 innings.
But I would really am very interested to know what guys are on that. There's a list right now that they're like, these are possibilities. Doesn't mean they're going to go anywhere. If it doesn't present itself, I have faith in this new management.
What do you think? Is Beatty on the list? Because to me, he wouldn't be on the list.
No.
I should get rid of Beatty.
I think he's on the possibility list.
Because you know what? It's now 2 years.
I'm okay with trading Beatty.
And there's nothing worse than Major League Baseball prospects, right? There's no hit or miss thing out there. More hit or miss than prospects in major leagues. Like, these guys, most of the time, they don't pan out. He comes up, he stinks.
Or they need years to develop.
He goes down, and he's really good. He's an in-between AAA and Major League player. That's what I think Beatty is. They might have just misevaluated him a couple years ago. He was the next big thing. He hasn't been good when he's been up here.
You're also looking at that on a team that is filling its roster with multi-million-dollar players.
2 years ago.
No, but even now, that's our plan. Like with JD Martinez, like all those guys, like whether it be Nimmo or Lindor or Alonso, and even guys hopefully in the future like Alvarez, like they're all going to be like more or less. He definitely has a major league role on a lot of other teams, Beatty. He will never. He could. That's the thing with him. Like on the Mets, he may be a minor leaguer on the Mets. He is going to be a integral part of. If you want to send him over to the A's, he is never ever seeing the minors ever again.
He's going to see the minors every day at the A's. Right?
It is, but it's the same with a lot of teams like that are that bad, or even the Rockies right now. Beatty would be the starting whatever.
Okay, and that's fine. Listen, let him go start. But don't you think?
No, but they might trade some people to get there. There's a guy on the Rockies that has a arm that we could use. Yeah, but and they may have the ability of, we're giving them a major league ready guy that we just can't use right now.
The only time during the year where the most valuable commodity is relief pitcher is the trade deadline, right? Yeah. So these teams try to pillage the other team of their minor leagues for a relief pitcher that's pitching well that season, right? Because most relief pitchers are just hit or miss year to year.
That's what you typically are trading for anyway.
So that's
the problem with trading anybody that is a real prospect that you really think has value on your team, is because a lot of these relief pitchers, like, they come over. No, and they're even the guy you're paying big bucks for, you're paying way too much for whatever you're getting out of this. No question about it.
But now you're going to pay his salary.
He may give you a crap freaking run down the thing and you're looking over, and that guy might be a stud over there. And I understand I'm not worried about trading the prospects. Yes. It's for what?
Well, baby,
if you're telling me Yoenis Cespedes is coming over and we have a big bat coming for a run.
We're not doing that.
No, I know. But in general, like, if that's what you need, that's what I see as more value as for like these big package deals. But the Mets are different.
Okay, but that's fine.
It doesn't even matter. The Mets are doing it different.
But that's the price. Then you don't get a reliever, and then you get. They're going to break our hearts.
The Mets have decided to do an unconventional thing, and that is spend large amounts of money to, in some way, like they've already, the one reliever they got is for like cash or possibly a player. Like they're giving away money.
He's the he had one good outing. We don't know
No,
about him.
no, I know that. But what I'm saying is for trades, they're using things that other things don't have, and that is a large amount of money. So when there's money involved, or maybe trying to get a guy off the team's books that may be involved with the bullpen, the Mets may be making a trade that gets rid of, to bring somebody over that the team doesn't even want to trade, that, within a reliever in it.
Because
It's just a
relievers
little
are
bit
disposable, right? They're interchangeable.
Yeah.
They kind of
The
come and
only
go.
thing the Mets have going for them is they're going to be able to spend some extra cash.
So if a team that's not very good, that has like a hole at third base in the future, sees Beatty and is like, we want Beatty. We're not going anywhere this year. Here's this decent reliever.
Yeah.
You do it, right?
Yeah.
Because this team, with the way the bullpen's constructed now, it's heartbreak city. They're going to blow a disastrous game. They almost blew 2 7-run leads.
And then
this week.
you could trade McNeil to a team that is decent and is making a run and is looking for someone who may be able to step up and have it.
McNeil to the Yankees. That I've heard. Now I think McNeil. I think his best days are behind. He's not anywhere near what he was when he won the batting title, right? He's not. He's just not. He can't hit. Listen, McNeil hates being here right now because he's getting killed. It's not a big party anymore, and we hate McNeil.
I watched McNeil as much as you did, and watched how good he was, and I was like, "There's no way a man like this. He will never be a good hitter." And I look back now, and I go, "Wait a minute." Something that Steve Phillips said on our show was like, "Listen, he's older guy."
Yeah, he did.
Who hasn't done that for as long as you think it, and all of a sudden he's had a couple good years. He hasn't thrown together 5 amazing years. The guy had 2 good years.
I thought he was going to be our John Olerud.
No, I did too. I was like, I told Steve Phillips, I think that we got a steal is how it started. I was like, didn't we get a good value? And
that's why he's the general manager.
And we're polite. He was being very polite and was trying to. He was like, I like Jeff McNeil also.
Yeah.
And I realized in that moment I was thinking like a fan,
because he clearly didn't like McNeil.
And no, he clearly knew. He thought like a GM. He thought, no, I know what this guy's age is. I know his proven track record isn't hitting 350. If it was, he would have been playing in the majors a long, long time ago.
So the Mets are in a weird position where they're going to be, because when you're trading out people like McNeil or Beatty, it sounds like you're sellers, right? Because those are marquee names that we all know, but they're not, because we know they stink. But they're kind of in between there. We got to remember they're 2 bad weeks away from being out of it.
The people they bring on, I believe, have to have a lot more value to them than winning this year. I think that's the key.
Then you're not going to fix this team, because
whoever you're bringing,
it's
whoever they're bringing on this year. No, that bullpen help is going to have another year or 2 years in their contract, just like we brought in with Brooks Rowley when he came in from Tampa Bay, and we made that trade the deadline for who's a good lefty that it hasn't panned out. He's been injured for the Mets. But for that was the same concept. Like, he had an extra year where at least you had control over him, and you're not just, getting a bullpen arm for Beatty for 3 months.
Now, you traded McNeil. You could sell it as, hey, listen.
We have a lot of other prospects,
he's been to 2
a lot
All-Star
of other
games.
offensive prospects down in the minors.
2 All-Star games. He's a batting champion, former batting champion. He might have it in him for another year, so you could maybe get somebody. Do 2 deals with 2 contenders.
You can't even hold on to. When you look around, we have Acuna Jr., we have Jet Williams. These guys are going to be playing in the majors next year.
Yeah,
right. And so, we do have to unload. At a certain point, people are going to be like, you have to unload them. Like, Beatty should not be spending his time in the minors. He should be playing and hitting Major League Baseball. He just does not fit on our team right now. We don't have a spot. Vientos is about to take over. I'm telling you, Vientos is going to start taking over.
Vientos is the third baseman.
Alvarez, if they're smart, they have to run a very large contract at him now, where it's one of those, it's going to seem pretty big for a guy who hasn't done that many years. It's going to pay off for you.
Alvarez, I think, is a Met. The Met catcher. He's the Met catcher for the next 15 years.
But they need to sign him to a 12-year, $300 million contract.
No, 600.
No, but but it's now.
Yeah,
I think you can get
because then you get the money earlier.
I think you can get whatever the numbers is. I think you can pay him like half of what he's worth.
They paid Alvarez. They paid Alvarez $8 million to sign when he was 16 years old.
No, yeah.
So they've known about Alvarez, and he's one of the core. He's going to be the core. It's going to be Acuna is hopefully going to be one of the core.
It's going to be like, give me $20 million a year for 10 years.
Oh,
20
no
years.
problem.
$40 million a year for
But then it turns into $60 million a year if he comes up on his contract year because everybody else can go
I'm
after.
telling you, whatever the number is, we can we'll talk about it all day. But it's good. You can get. I'm telling you, that guy right now will sign a long-term, big money deal, and God, I'm telling you, this team is actually set up to be all right, regardless of the Lindor contract. He's
I mean,
as good. No, he's been good. Like, thank God for Lindor, but it's
the Nimmo. Now, what about Nimmo and the Lindor contract's not bad. The Lindor contract's not bad at all. Yeah. I mean, it's a bad contract. Like, we gave him a lot of money, but it doesn't matter because we got plenty of money.
It's not going to be.
He's all right. He's a good. He's the best leadoff hitter now,
and it's not going to seem so bad in 5 years a contract like that.
No, yeah, because it's not forever. How long did they give it to him? 8 years, 9 years?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not terrible. We're already 3 or 4 years in, right? 3 years.
Yeah.
4, okay, so it'll be all right. It'll be bad. You'll be paying him $30 million. When he's older.
I don't think he's going to be that bad though. Out of nowhere, like, he doesn't see. He's a professional. He's a good leader. He's a good professional hitter. He just goes through slumps. And listen, I think he's the type of guy that if we do eventually somehow manage to squeeze our way into playoffs, he's a guy who can go crazy in a playoff series.
Yes. Now what about Alonso? Have you changed on Alonso?
That's what this team has finally become. There's guys, everybody in that lineup, I feel like we can rely on. And even the guys who are now those guys who you have to have a couple. We talked about it earlier, and we couldn't name a name.
Because they're all hidden. Now they're all hidden. Of course, you think you can rely on.
We said, we need to have that lucky guy show up that is unheard of that we didn't know. And Iglesias has become that guy. And then even that, we have our backup catcher at this point, which I look and I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, Torres is good.
Yeah, Torres is not bad for a backup.
Torres is good.
And
he's throwing everybody out. And I look over and I go, these are the things that make you win. These are the things that, like, when you need that little guy that came out of nowhere and to be that spark and come off the bench, and I just see it in this team. It's just, did they dig themselves too much of a hole? Because now you're in a fight. There's no just we're going to run away with anything at this point.
No, they were bad.
No,
I know. 3 months they were terrible.
Now you have to fight
and
your
they
way.
dug themselves
and
a big hole.
We're going to be going up against our division rival, the Braves, to try and decide who's going to be in that spot, and somebody else is going to come in and be right around us. Also, it's going to be
There's a bunch of teams. It's very.
I know, but I feel the Braves.
What they wanted with the third wild card. That's the point of the third wild card.
What do we got for the last year? Is it us versus the Braves in the last?
No, I don't mean the last series of the year. And yes, we always want the Braves because the Braves have killed us through our whole lives, and the Phillies have run away with it, so that's out of the picture. It's now the Mets trying. They've worked their way in a month period from one of the worst teams in Major League Baseball, to a wild card team in the second one, tied for the second wild card spot, going into the AllStar break. I mean,
I have hope. All I wanted was hope. So I got everything I wanted.
The speed of the Braves.
Oh no! I don't
the speed at which that they've come back and turned this around is incredible. Yeah. In just a month, they went from god awful to one of the hottest teams in the game. Now they're not one of the best because you look at the Yankees, and now we'll get to the Yankees. The Yankees, are they back on track now? They're tied with Baltimore 2-2 last we saw in the sixth inning, I believe. They're tied. They're percentage points below them in the standings. The Yankees have played terrible. They've been as long as the Mets have been great in this stretch. The Yankees have been just the complete opposite. They've been terrible. Are they relying now too much on rookies? You got Gil, right?
Yep.
Who you relying on? You got this guy Rice, who you're relying on, and Cole pitched good yesterday, Gil pitched good yesterday, Cole the day before, and they won 2 in a row. You got
all tied up with Baltimore on top of the division.
Judge is having a historic year.
Oh yeah, absolutely incredible, incredible.
Now, but they got swept. I mean, they were bad. They got swept by Baltimore.
The Mets have been the best team in the baseball since whatever it was,
May 29th,
and the Yankees have been the worst. And it's just amazing because they've just been dead opposites. Beginning of the year, Yankees were so hot and the Mets were terrible.
And the Mets are still 10 games behind the Yankees.
Of course, yeah. But that let me tell you, at the rate that they're
May 29th,
and the Yankees have been the worst. And it's just amazing because they've just been dead opposites. Beginning of the year, Yankees were so hot and the Mets were terrible.
And the Mets are still 10 games behind the Yankees.
Of course, yeah. But that let me tell you, at the rate that they're going, that's 2 weeks away from being them even.
Now in the second...
At the rate each team has been going for the last over 1 month now, in 2 weeks, they would be just about even.
Yeah, but 2 weeks
It's
ago,
not going to happen. The Yankees are going to play good
No,
ball. The
obviously.
Mets are going to play good ball.
Yeah, they'll still be 10 games
they're all
behind.
going to win 2 out of 3 at a
But
most.
the Mets were 2 weeks ago. The Mets were behind the Washington Nationals, and then
No,
they swept them like 9 games
the
up
Mets
on them.
had no hope.
No hope.
The
There
Mets
was no
were
hope.
horrific.
There was no hope.
The season was over.
The season was. I was ready to talk Giants Jets.
And we talked
talking
about how
hard
they,
knocks.
our only thing was, are they going to hang close enough to the wild card where it ruins them trying to trade at the deadline?
I was selling I said sell everybody. If it's not nailed down,
yeah.
sell it.
Yeah, no, it was over.
But then you know what? You realize baseball is such a long season. It's day in and day out. It's every day, and we get all bent out of shape over 1 or 2 baseball games. Yet in the NFL, we're like, it's all right.
How much do you think, as a manager and in his first year, that it plays into it of a guy who may have finally realized like how to manage a game on a day in and day out basis, and like just
3 games, like someone like
even
our guy,
certain players,
3 games. Managers aren't worth a lot of games. They're war. You know what they should have? They should give a war stat to the managers.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, yeah, of course.
You know, you can see how many wins
against
he's
replacement.
worth.
Yeah.
A replacement manager. What kind of regular manager would go in there? What is this guy better than him? But the managers are big. They don't do. We could do this, right? I can put the lineup out every day. I don't think it's
about lineup. I think it's about dealing with players in the clubhouse. And
that's exactly what it is.
I don't think it has anything to do with that. Listen, as somebody who deals with it and like dealing with like staff, I don't care who the staff is. It's the same freaking difference.
Yeah, but we're likable, right? The players would like us. Everybody likes us. We'd be good.
Yeah, but that's
then you gotta piss them off. You gotta piss them.
See, you just think that likable is being that's not it. Now you need to be likable. That's great, but you need to get the stuff done too, and you need to be tough. So now the problem is,
I don't think Bobby
you
Valentine's
have to know.
is likable.
You don't know when you show up. When you're a brand new manager, you have no idea which player needs to be manipulated in which way. How does one guy need to get? How do you handle Pete Alonso? It's very different than handling Lindor. And I know it sounds like some guys need to be, tough love and be like whatever. Other guys need to be coddled. And I know that sounds stupid,
that's what a manager
but I think there's a point where he's finally gotten into his groove of knowing who the team is, where it is, and I really think this is going to be like a coach at halftime making adjustments. Adjustments for the second half of the season.
I think it's all about managing the bullpen.
And right.
That's what he does.
And now he has to be given those extra tools that if the management can come through and give him a couple of those extra tools, and the Yankees, this goes the same thing for the Yankees. I really believe that him, just like Boone, I think is the same type of guy. I think he knows what he's doing with when you give him the right stuff. I think this team can get even better.
Okay, I don't know how you get better than this. Than what they've been playing. Now, do I think that? I think they're still between a 500 and 10 games over 500 team. So they're between a 80 and 90 win team. 91 wins. You might need 95
what if a big
to get
starter?
the playoffs.
What if you pick up a big starter in the middle of all?
Yeah.
Like you don't know what's coming.
I guess
You don't know. Like you don't know what's coming. You think like there may be nothing, maybe very little activity.
Scott's unproven.
There could be a lot of activity coming at this deadline that we don't even like. There could be. I know. And then when you add Senga to the mix, I know we keep talking about this. Senga is on his way. I've watched almost every pitch of what he's throwing down the minors.
Really? You watching these minor leagues?
They're not long. They're not long.
Oh,
it's like they just blow through the pitches. You don't sit there and watch the freaking minor league game, Bob. It's like
I haven't seen any of it.
Just strike out. He's out. It's over. 32 seconds. It's over.
It was 4 weeks in April,
and it's like 3 innings.
Zenga's gonna be back in 4 weeks in April. Now I will believe Zenga's back when he's standing on the mound at Citi Field because where is it? How many rehab starts do we need? He had like a little tweak in his elbow. It wasn't like this big reconstructive surgery or anything, right? I mean, like, okay, he's had 3 good rehab starts. So let's get him in here now. But they baby these guys so much. And with Scott, Scott's 25 years old. He can
cultural
pitch.
differences, Bob. They're very stoic.
It's not cultural differences.
They don't want to talk about their problems. They just want to get better. They feel bad for having shamed us.
And back to Mendoza, the manager, I don't think he's really making many decisions either. I think it's coming from Stearns and it's coming from up above him. The computer nerds are punching. The Mets are very analytical now. Yeah. And the thing is Lindor isn't analytical.
Well, so which one of those computer nerds can book a ticket for DJ Stewart anywhere but in Queens?
Oh, we like DJ Stewart too.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
He's got like 4 hits.
That's what bad teams do.
Nobody's taking. Just relief him. Just DFA him then, right? Just see ya. He's got like 4 or 5 hits this year. He's got 2 of them this week.
They have the ability to stick him in the minors without someone taking him. They
So
don't
now-
have to DFA him.
They got McNeil in the lineup today. He's playing second base. I mean, they're down 2-0 already, by the way. But
Yeah.
you got you got Lindor and Nimmo at the top of the order. They just swapped them two, right? Like
Yeah.
Lindor hit second.
Yeah.
They swapped them, and now it's like
And
two
then-
different players.
And then they started putting Alvarez into the up in the line.
cleanup spot.
Yeah.
Which,
Well, no,
which
in 3, and then Alonso's
Okay,
cleanup
okay.
today. But they've been in that range.
and Alonso.
Because then you have number 5, which is typically JD.
Yeah, we gotta give Alonso some protection, I guess. But
then
Lindor
you
is the
have-
best leadoff hitter in baseball right now.
Iglesias is unbelievable.
Oh my God.
Right,
God.
and the guy plays such amazing defense that you look over and go, these are the guys you need on your bench. These are the guys, if they are playing well, ride them and have them play. Like, have them play. And I really, that's what I mean by, I think Mendoza's smart enough to see, regardless of what you've done right now, who is the best players and what's the best, combination of players for us to win.
You think Nimmo and Lindor are just upset that they didn't make the All-Star team in this week and a half of just tearing it up is something like that? Now, we know Lindor's a good baseball player. And
Do you know how hard it
Nimmo's
is?
never made an
Do you-
All-Star team.
Do you know how, listen, me and you, it's like, yeah, no big deal. You didn't make the All-Star game or whatever. We don't want, they're going to sit at home for the first time since spring training started. They showed up one day in spring training. Since then, the first day, they're going to sit at home for like 3, 4, 5 days, whatever it is. And they're going to be watching other people play where they think they should be there. They are going to be so pissed, and they are going to light it up.
Yeah, but
Let me tell you, Pete Alonso, he's been hibernating, all right? And the polar bear's coming out.
What, with the home run derby? Do you like?
No,
do you
it's
watch
not.
them?
I don't even care about the home run derby. Do I like it? No, I don't even. No, not really. Like, I don't care.
No.
As a kid, I liked it, and
But
I think
he
that's who it's
cares.
for. See, like, you're looking at it as a 40-something-year-old adult, I believe,
yeah.
who has been jaded by
Yeah.
life.
Yeah, a little
And
bit.
who has seen his home run derbies as a kid, and it was never going to be as good as that. I think there are kids today that watch it and have the same feeling that we had, and we got to look at it like
Yeah, I
that.
think
It is
so.
a good thing.
I think we're just
and the
old
All Star
now.
game is its own thing, and they want to see them just be weird and flashy. They don't care about competition. The kids today want to just see them make a backflip of a catch in outfield, or
They
like
could go
something.
watch the Savannah Bananas if they want to see that.
They do. They sell it out. They still have Fenway.
Now, what about this kid, Brett? What about Skenes?
Oh my god!
Like now, you
His
the way New York
girlfriend Libby
sports-
Dunn,
I mean, look
LSU
but look at some of
cheerleader,
these
just
stats.
signed up for another year of.
First pitcher since
Gymnastics.
1893 with 75 strikeouts in and under 1,500 runs in his first 10 games. First player to make. He was drafted last year. Usually it takes 3 years to get to the major leagues. First player
Yeah.
drafted. He's playing in the All-Star game next year.
College actually refines them. College used to be like a negative in the past, but now it's actually like those programs is where everybody.
He was throwing a no-hitter.
You know, the
other
draft
day.
is tonight.
Yeah, it's weird that they do it in the middle of the season, isn't it?
Yeah,
the
I
ESPYs
don't-
was
I
last. Did you
don't-
watch the ESPYs?
I think it comes down to when the college season ends, and now we have a few weeks to build up to it, just like anything else.
Yeah, it might
Now
be.
they're
You're right. It
available.
might, you're right. The college season just ends. Baseball's such a long
Minors is
season.
already going on. We got to get prepared for next year. Figure out who we got.
Now, can they draft a guy and bring him up? Can you draft him and bring him up? I mean, it doesn't happen.
Draft him and bring him up.
Bring him up for the
No,
playoffs.
there's a minimum. I'm sure. I don't even know if that's allowed. I think you're right. I think that's part of the process. Might be like
Yeah, but
I don't
think
know
they're
that.
allowed to
I
do
don't know
because
that.
then who
You have
are
to sign contracts and all that. I know that.
Yeah, but who are they to limit how much money I can make right away at my job? Right, that's what they did with. That's what they said about the college basketball.
I don't know when there's like a day like you're not in the union yet. We need 2 months of PTO
yeah,
built
maybe,
up.
maybe.
We need 2 weeks of PTO before we know you're not just going to get cut a check and run.
So I mean, but Skenes, he would have thrown a no hitter the other day. He doesn't, like you said, he doesn't have bad innings. He
How
hasn't
do you,
even had a
how do
bad
you feel
inning.
about that?
What? That they pull him into no hitter? I don't
Pull-
like it. I don't like it. Because especially when it's someone young like that. Listen, he is not going to screw his arm up. I wouldn't let him throw 150 pitches like they did with what's his face for the Mets. I wouldn't let that happen. But he was at like
but
85 pitches.
But at the end, that's like letting.
At the end, you let him do it. I wouldn't do it with him. I'm saying. Oh yeah,
That's like letting like your grandpa take the bullet for you.
yeah,
Because it's like you only got like a year left.
yeah. But that's fine. But and I would have let him pitch. Right? You got to let him. He's got a no hitter. What if it's a perfect game?
I let him pitch.
What if it's a perfect game? Would they have let him pitch? Because I know it's pitch
If it's
count.
a perfect game, its pitch count's going to be lower.
Not necessarily. Yeah, I guess it probably. You're right. But and he's like no, what he's like. He's like Nolan Ryan, Dwight Gooden, right? It's the same type of thing. His numbers are right on par with Strasburg when he started his first 6 or 7 starts.
How many years until Tommy John?
But that's what I'm saying. Like, why do all these guys need Tommy John? But
Because
the guys
they're
back
all
in the day
doing.
did
They're
it.
all doing.
Did the guys back in the day need it and they just didn't get it?
They're manipulating the way they throw.
They're doing it to get stronger.
Much different. No, but it's literally the action they're putting on whatever. I know it'd be like, oh, it's the exact same thing as they always did forever. It's just not true.
They're twisted and
They're
more.
throwing things.
Spin rate.
I don't know. I wish there's people who could definitely answer this question a lot better for us, like of what's causing it. But it really is a thing where a guy at his skill level throwing at the velocity he's throwing at and throwing sliders the way he's throwing them. I mean, every one of them is Tommy John. Everybody. There's name people who don't have Tommy John. But it's not even like possible anymore.
But Nolan Ryan threw the same speed and Dwight Gooden threw the same speed. And they didn't need it. Now, they might just be two outliers.
No, well, Nolan Ryan's the outlier
obviously,
because he
40 years
continued to be able to throw like that, whereas Dwight Gooden, regardless of drugs, his body physically wouldn't let him throw at that speed. Like, you don't know if Skenes, like, this seems like it's so natural to him. Like,
well, it is. Yeah, it's only been 7 to 8 starts.
No, I know, but it's.
Does he deserve to start the All-Star? I think absolutely. I think it would be prime if they didn't make him
I applaud that decision more than anything.
That's what everybody wants to see.
That is exactly what the All-Star game is about. That is, they recognize finally for the first time. People recognize what, like we talked about.
What we want to see.
No, but not even us. The younger people. They're trying to get people to watch this, to care about baseball. The games are shorter. We're not going to drag on the stupid stuff anymore. We're going to have entertainment is going to be condensed. Like the people are allowed to be flashy. We're going to let you bat flip. We're going to let Alvarez act like clap. We like this.
Give it the bat flips today.
I don't bat flip and back flip.
Oh, you said bat flip. Okay, yeah. I guess you've always been allowed to bat flip, right? You're just going to get thrown at.
No, but now, yeah, right. But they're not now. Now they're not getting thrown at for a bat flip. They are for in the past. Imagine Nolan Ryan. Imagine Darryl Strawberry crushes a home run with Nolan Ryan, flips that thing 20 feet in the air.
Yeah, he would have.
That was his last game. That was his last game playing baseball.
Oh well, if he does that, then whatever.
He's gonna.
Oh no! Nolan Ryan wouldn't have thrown in his head. He would have hit him right between the back.
I know, but you know what I'm saying. He would have wanted to kill him.
Oh yeah, and Nolan Ryan's a fun. Remember Robin Ventura?
I just like that they're at least trying. I know there's, and again, they're like new rules for the home run derby. Like,
what are the new rules?
There's who cares? Okay, yeah, there gonna be new rules next year, so it doesn't matter, Bob. That's the whole thing that I don't like about it.
But Alonso cares, and for some reason, this always screws up this swing, right?
No, this is like. This is what happens to mediocre teams. I don't want to say people, but like on mediocre teams when you don't like you're not really searching to try and win a World Series. It's like Pete Alonso's World Series is the home run derby.
Yeah.
Like Tiger Woods is like making the cut.
Yeah.
And like everybody has like their thing. Like Judge is like breaking the home run record.
Yeah, every year.
Like even the Yankees aren't like we're going to win the World Series anymore. They're like we're looking to advance in the playoffs team.
You win the division.
And get there because they're not – the Yankees – I don't care, Yankee. I know you guys are all like, we won 1 million championships in a row. That was a long time ago. So that the Yankees are now we're trying to go deep in the playoffs team. They are not
it's a different playoff.
Everybody wants to win the World Series. I'm saying that
good season.
What you would consider a successful year. Pete Alonso – like Marcus Stroman could care less about a World Series. Yeah, but 20 wins.
Yeah, but look how long you know what the proof of that is? That you're right. Is that look how long it's been since they won the World Series, and look who's still the manager and the GM. Right, so they think they're doing okay.
No, and they are doing well. They've always been good every year. There's never a year they're not good ever.
Last week the fans.
They're always great.
17 games over 500.
But that's even more disappointing.
Last week the Yankee fans had a section. Where they got it online, they got everybody, they cultivated it online. A Fire, Boone, and Cashman section, and there's 17 games over 500. That's how ridiculous it is.
And that's stupid. And you know what? I think that's good management realizing, and it's similar to the Cowboys, of we know what we have is a great thing here. It's just not working out for us when we get to the spot. There is a lot of luck, and I understand some of this management, and there's a lot of things. And in the past, they got lucky, and they won a bunch in a row based on certain things that actually went their way. And they know if you screw it up and you lose that, you may never get it back. You might not. Yeah. If you change management on a team that's great, the Cowboys are great.
The Cowboys?
The Cowboys and the Yankees, yes. And you go look. They are the best team every year in the regular season going up to certain things. And it doesn't mean
it's a different
anything.
playoff.
It means you want to be there. If you had the choice of the Mets of having you guys are like going to win the World Series, you're the best this year, or just a consistency of being good every year. 1 year of, or 2 years, or 3 years of, you're going to be in the World Series every year, win or lose. Well, or just you're really good and always forever in the hunt.
It's grass isn't always greener on the other side. Because, Boone would get fired and Cashman would get fired. They'd be hired in a minute.
The Yankees will break through. They will keep putting themselves in the playoffs. There's a year where they will win their consecutive playoff series and be the World Series champions sometime in the next 5 to 10 years.
It's a crapshoot.
That's a long time. That's Judge's. That's Judge's and Soto's entire careers.
That's fine, but that's how it used to. It is.
And we're talking about one championship. They're just greedy.
Because you know why?
It's one. Everybody's looking for one.
But anybody can have a bad. Of course, that's how it is. Because they know that your Judge can go in and have a bad playoff and they lose. Right? It's a crapshoot in the playoffs, especially now that there's multiple layers of playoffs. It's not just win the division and you're in the fucking World Series, or it's win the division and you're in the ALCS.
No, you got to get through multiple rounds,
multiple layers of playoffs, and
injuries. Did you have to fight to get there? Along the way, did you have an easy way where guys were rested on the way in? Are you able to start your top rotation from day one, or were you playing a game the day before where your starter had to come in? There's so many factors, but they will break through one of these seasons. But I don't think we're going to see. With the way I see it, even with the Dodgers, you think the Dodgers looked like, if you asked anybody at the beginning of the year, the Dodgers are going to win 3 of the next 4 World Series. This is inevitable. Yeah. It's not like that. The Dodgers might not win any World Series.
It's definitely a crapshoot.
And that's where, but the Yankees will be in the hunt, and the Mets will be in the hunt, and the Dodgers will be in the hunt. And I think with that, each one of them is going to get one. Brett, and I think it's going to be more of the next decade is going to be one guy gets one guy gets one. It's not going to be multiples over the next 10 years.
Now, take it from, you can equate it to this, like a gun range. I shoot guns every year, right? I have to be qualified.
I went to the gun range to get them out.
People who don't know about shooting guns say, why didn't they just shoot them in the legs? Because you shoot for center mass. The Yankees are shooting for center mass. Yeah. The guy last night with Trump didn't aim center mass, look what happened. Not that we want anything to happen to Trump, but that's what happened. If he shoots center mass, Trump is dead, right?
Yeah. No, they listen. The problem is the Democrats can't aim. I honestly no, but truthfully, how can we not talk about what the hell that was last night?
So close. Turns his head.
Turns his head. Talk about dropping the ball and bad management. I'm sorry, but to let a guy just climb on the roof with an assault rifle and from 300 feet away or 400 feet away, taking open shots at the former president in the middle of one of the tightest races we've ever had, for president, and a lot of stuff that would have really changed the entire outlook of America in general.
Yes, that would have been one of our moments.
And I'm honestly, I'm very glad, and I know this, everybody has their own whatever, that it didn't end that way.
I think you want to see him dead.
I know. I'm very glad that it we're going to let democracy play out and do all that stuff, because that stuff is.
But he can't lose. He can't lose now, right? How do they beat him? Always.
Yeah. No. Listen, man.
He's been the worst person ever, and he just lands right on his feet every time.
If you're weak-minded enough to change whatever your decision was prior to this because of this, then that's on you. I think that everybody's minds have been made up, and whatever it is going to be what it is.
Trump is the drunk driver.
I think this is definitely driving.
Trump is the drunk driver who just plows through, kills six families, and not a scratch on him. Right? That's what Trump is. He's a drunk driver. They never die. The family of 4 dies in a car accident. Not a scratch on him.
Well, the thing is, if you don't care, nothing can hurt you.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's how life works.
It's crazy.
Bob. If you don't care at all,
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you're right.
about what anybody else thinks,
He's got no emotions.
or about anything that goes on outside of what your best interests
You're
are,
right.
and the event, even if your best interests are what a whole half of the country believes are their best interests,
Because there's been some
because they
real
are. You have to
embarrassing
realize,
stuff.
Bob, just because you don't believe in what and like that,
no,
half,
I know.
there is a half of the people who truly
Oh,
believe.
yeah, but I don't sit here and say that they want to destroy America. Like, I don't say that.
No,
Neither
no.
side wants to destroy
No,
America.
definitely. But it's really
I mean, you're right though. If you don't care, because there's been some pretty embarrassing stuff where you're like, I just want to go. I would want to just go hide, right, and never show my face again. If some of that stuff came out about you.
I wish, because I'm someone who's much more right in the middle, where I believe in a lot of Republican concepts. Like I do. I don't think we should be. Yeah, I don't think we should be taxed like crazy. I don't think all this other stuff. I don't think we should just give our money away. But I go and I believe in some of the Democratic concepts, and I look over and I'm like, the problem is I need someone to not say ridiculously ridiculous things during the process. So it's like I have a very hard time with everything in between. But honestly,
not as inefficient as people make it out.
Honestly, the stuff that happened yesterday, some of the craziest stuff we've ever seen in our lifetimes.
And then that picture of
it
him
is going
like
to have
this.
a big influence on something. I don't
it.
know in what way. But you know, it's really getting to that point. Like this all started with the emails.
Yeah, well,
and now we're at people trying to get assassinated on stage.
And this doesn't make Trump any better of a person than he is. He's a bad person, right? Because he doesn't care about anybody else. He assaults women. He's a bad person. And people that argue that he's not, I don't know what you're looking at. Because if you put anybody that did those things and it'd be
Bob,
crazy.
you're putting me in a weird spot where I'm trying to retain listeners.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make sure that, and I'm going to have to start defending things I don't even believe in pretty soon.
I'll cut some of it out.
I'm going to have to start being like, oh yeah, no. January 6th was
the tour of the Capitol.
This close. And like, Bob, I don't even believe this. I just have to say it just to,
second half of the season. What happened second half, Brett? Do the Mets make the playoffs? Do the Yankees
political
make the
season?
Not the political season.
This is about halftime, right? This is the halftime show. The fireworks.
The Jets and Giants will be playing. Hopefully, they'll still be good by the time the election comes around. Do the Mets make the playoffs? Do the Yankees win the division?
I honestly, I think we have a good summer of baseball coming.
I think so. I'm excited.
I think the Mets are going to make more moves, and I don't even know what the hell they're going to be. I know we talked about it the whole time, but I believe that they're going to make some big moves, and the Mets are going to make the playoffs. I think the Yankees are going to be in a race to win their division for the rest of the year, and definitely make the playoffs.
Win the division.
It may be, but it's going to be a race, and that's going to be an interesting thing. Because that's different when you're not running away with something, and you actually have to fight the entire
Yankees
way.
haven't run away with the division in a long time.
No, I know, but no matter who it is, sometimes you're in the wild card spot, and you're just in it. You're in it. You don't have to you're not chasing the division. Yeah, but you're in the playoffs.
Yeah, which they are now.
That's a easier. No, you want that. You want to ease your way into it. Whereas you could be down to some crazy stuff. And the Mets play the Braves not in the last series of the year, but the series prior.
How'd that work
3
out?
games in Atlanta.
How'd that work out 2 years ago? One of these years we got to be going down there and beat. I mean, I know we have in the past, but it's 2 times. So anyway, up there. Give me a Yankees. Give me a Yankee score, Brett. Mets are 2-0. They trail. Second inning. Trying to get the sweep, trying to move to 5 games over 500, heading into the AllStar, which is unbelievable. To come from where they came from, what's the Yankee score?
3-2 Orioles.
Orioles
bottom
up
of the
3-2,
7.
bottom 7. That was an early 11 o'clock start. Listen, hopefully the Orioles can salvage a game there and move back in front. I don't want that. We did so good coming into the AllStar break, and then the Yankees are going to be like, oh yeah, got back first place.
Yeah.
Come on. So anyway, so that's what's going on. Brett and I, we're going swimming, right? Yeah, we're going swimming. So that does it for us. You know what I'm doing, Brett? I'm putting it together. I'm doing a show. The top 10 former Met now good list.
Oh yeah,
for the All-Star.
Oh yeah, no, and right up there, who needs to get up there is Seth Lugo.
Oh, I know Seth.
Going for Cy Young.
Up
there for Cy Young. We just we're you can't start.
But
no,
Seth Lugo was bad.
Seth
Lugo was bad.
Seth, you're not allowed to start.
I know.
He's please, guys, I'm a starting pitcher. I can start. I'm a great starter. All I want to do is start. I'll do it for the least amount of money. No, just let me start. I will sign a long-term Cheap deal.
The only
no
reason
problem.
you don't hear about it is because of Skenes. If it wasn't for Skenes, it'd be all Seth Lugo.
Cy Young. Cy Young.
He'll be on the list. So that does it for us here today. Have a good day, everybody. Enjoy the All-Star game. We'll talk to you next week. For Brett Grasso, I'm Bob Walters from the Brian Gunzel Studios. See ya.